Hey y'all. I'm wait just a minute. I'm about to get started real quick. I think it's only set for 24 hours. It says hang on there. We're telling more followers to join your video. Eh, eh, eh. Hey y'all. How you been doing? Since you feel with the Holy. That's be a song. Alright, I'm just waiting for it. Says, hang on, telling your followers that you started a live video. Hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Okay. Hey, yo. It's gonna be good if you're a therapist. If you're not, just listen. Okay, I'm just gonna get started, y'all. And I think you can catch this on the replay. I believe Instagram keeps this up for 24 hours. And that's it. Okay, so I'm doing this real impromptu. Title is, and I don't know how to type that in the description, but I need to learn how to use Instagram. Hold on. We're going to talk about, okay, that's not what I want. Basically, we're going to talk about how to start your own private practice. Are y'all ready? I'm only going to do this for 15 minutes or less. Okay? I do have a whole teaching. It's $150. You go to my website, samariacover.com, type on training. It's going to give you more detail. It's a 2-hour training. It is a pre-recorded training, so if you don't like pre-recorded trainings, don't purchase it. I'm only going to give you the tidbits. I'll give you some good tips. Okay? First thing, if you want to start your own private practice, about me, my name is Dr. Samaria. I'm Cobra. I am my doctor is not in psychology. I'm not a psychologist. I am a licensed therapist. I've been in the mental health field for over 15 years. I can't believe it's been that long, and I'm that old, but I really am. And it's been that long, okay? All right. Are y'all ready? Okay. So, and I have a private practice. The name of my private practice is called Kingdom Creative Counseling. We're located at downtown Greensboro. We have 2 locations, but the main location is downtown Greensboro. A lot of practitioners do telehealth mental health now, including myself. However, we still have our downtown office because once this is over, with every plan on offering people telehealth or an office session, or you can have your choice depending upon what your insurance allows and what you are comfortable with. So, and we've been in existence for a few years, so I know a little something about how to start your own private practice because I started it with no money. Okay, so how do you start your own private practice? Again, for those who are checking in, hey. For those who are checking in. You don't need a whole lot of money to start your private practice. I tell the testimony of how I started and all that good stuff. And I'm going to give you just listen, 10 minutes. Okay, maybe 15. First thing you want to do, you want to start your own private practice is to register a business name. You need to make sure that you own your business name. Okay. Now, when I started my business, it was pre-COVID, okay? Pre-COVID. So a lot of things I'm going to do, you have to double check depending on where you are. And, if you're listening to me from out of state or something like that, look at and to see what your qualifications are now, okay? It used to be I had to register my business name. I can go online and look to see whether or not my business name was owned by someone else, okay? It was not. So I had to go to Register of Deeds, or you go online, look it up, okay? You want to make sure that your business name, however you come up with it, is not owned by someone else. So I went and looked up Kingdom Creative Counseling, okay? No one owned it, therefore it could rightfully be mine. Now, about coming up with a business name, for any business that you have, do not make these business names too long. It's going to affect you when it comes to business cards, which I know a lot of people don't do, but it's still going to affect you with online advertisements. You still need a website, things of that nature. If it's too long, then, you just kind of hinder yourself. It's just people don't remember all that. So it should be 3, at least try to be 3 things or less, right? At least 3 syllables or less, or 3 words or less. So mine is Kingdom Creative Counseling. When I first started my business, it was Kingdom Creative Counseling and Consulting Services. Kingdom Creative Counseling and Consulting Services. That is too long. Okay, we had to shorten it up. And it's still long, but I couldn't cut it down no further. Okay, so after that, after I looked online, said to the Register of Deeds in North Carolina. Now is if you register in North Carolina, it used to be by jurisdiction, like Wake County, Greensboro, or Guilford County versus Mecklenburg County. Now, if you own it throughout the whole county. I mean, the whole state of North Carolina. Okay. Go down to the Register of Deeds. At that time, pre-COVID, you had to register at the Register of Deeds and make sure it's yours. Okay, now they do it online because of COVID. Okay, but you still have to do that. So register your name, make sure it's not too much. You officially own it. Okay, now in my state where I reside at, now you got to figure out what business structure you want. Is it an S corp? Is it a LLC? It is a PLLC? Is it a whatever your business structure is? Okay. Two main ones that practitioners do when they're starting a business is a sole practitioner, which I don't recommend because you want your assets and your personal assets to be protected. You either want to do an LLC or a PLC. Now, this is what I also didn't know when I first started my business a few years ago. In the state of North Carolina, if you are a counseling business, you can't register an LLC. You have to register a PLLC. Well, what's the difference? It's really the same, but a PLLC means you have to get approval from your licensure board first. Okay, so if you have a licensure board, okay, you need to get approval from them. So what I had to do is go through my licensure board, and the PLC stands for Professional Limited Liability Company. It works the same way as an LLC, but it's a professional limited liability company. So I had to go through my board. They said, hey, her license is in good standing. Let's go over here, and she's in good standing, okay? So I had to go through a licensure board first. So should you register a PLC or LLC, you still, again, depending upon your jurisdiction, and it also depends upon your license, you want to make sure that that you have your bases covered and you know the difference. Now, again, there's different licensure board. There's LCSW board. There's LCM board, Licensed Clinical Medical Health Professional. There's a psychology board. There's a nursing board. There's all kinds of, there's a medical board, okay? And so when I say what your board is, depending upon what your credentials are, you go through that board as well. At least even if they don't require you to get a PLLC, they should still give you some direction. So I registered my LLC. It got denied. And I was like, why am I denied? Because I had to go through my board first. After I went through my board, gave them my name, gave them a copy, said I officially own this name. No one else has it. They gave me approval. And then I had to go to the Secretary of State and register to get a PLLC. Okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, again, at that time, this is pre-COVID, for professional LLCs, you had to actually physically go down to the office and turn in your paperwork. Okay, after you filled it all out and all the board and all that kind of stuff, it's a lot of paperwork, but it's not that bad. It's not difficult. You go down there and you have to turn it in. Again, due to COVID, last time I checked. Now my PLLC is in good standing, so I don't check every other day to make sure it's still in good standing, because it is in good standing. Okay, they had made it they made it so you don't have to go down there now. Okay, but again, check your local stuff. Okay, they may have changed it, may have went back. I don't know, girl. I just make mine is a good standard, so I ain't got to check on that. Okay, after that, bam, you officially have your business. Now, again, you want to go through a bank account. You want to register for a bank account. I have, how many bank accounts do I have? I have, I want to say 4, but 2 of them are business accounts. Okay, but you want to have a business account in your name, because checks will come to my checks or whatever, my check stuff. If I'm, doing co-pays and stuff like that, they write the checks to, or their credit cards or whatever is under Kingdom Creative Counseling. Okay, so you can still register for a business. You don't need a whole lot of money to register a business account, but it just helps keep track of your funds and how much money you're making and all that. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Now, again, there's a 2-hour training. We got like 7 more minutes, then we're done. All right, so let's talk about your business. You want to determine whether or not, and I'm skipping over like office and stuff like that. That's in the training. Whether or not, again, people are doing telehealth. I actually have a physical office that I give people my physical office address to, which is located downtown Greensboro. I have a P.O. box, okay? So I don't have to worry about, like, what if I'm doing work from home and I need to use my address. I would not recommend people giving people your personal address, okay? Because when you register with these insurance companies or what have you, or when you just advertising your business, I don't know, you may not want people to know your personal address. I mean, your personal information. We got 6 more minutes and we done. Okay, so you have to worry about it. But again, the training is going to teach you all that. Like, what if I don't have a physical address? What if I do want a physical address? I still think it's a good time to get a physical address if you can, if financially you can, because this is a time where a lot of businesses are not using their offices. They're giving you a whole bunch of discounted rates, things of that nature. If you can hold on to an office now, and at least start doing some work out of it or something like that, now it's a lot better because you have more opportunities, more access. But again, I understand everybody may not be able to do that. Some clinicians have closed down their offices because they're only doing telehealth. I'm not in that position. I have a physical office, even though I'm doing a lot of telehealth now. Okay, but you're gonna decide with your business. How do you want to get paid? Okay, how do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid self-pay or insurance? Now, being an insurance provider is a whole other monster within itself, but it can be done. I do both. Okay. I see entrepreneurs, I see other people that maybe not have insurance, and I have a contract, I have a rate that you pay Samaria. However, I'm also in network with insurances, okay? And I have about, I think, total maybe about 27 different insurances, and it's a lot of work to do to get credentialed because a lot of paperwork and actually the same thing over and over. It's very redundant. But once you got it, okay? And as a matter of fact, we got a couple contracts that are coming in 2021, and all goes well, we should be up. So I am a insurance provider. So even I talk about, anyway, I am a licensed professional, and my company accepts insurances. Okay. Now, so let's say, for example, you're only private pay. We got 3 minutes. You're only private pay. Okay. You got to determine what is your rate. Now, you don't want to be too cheap, but you don't want to be too high. I know I've heard of someone who had a PhD in psychology was charging $35 an hour. That is too cheap. That is like dirt cheap. That's not acceptable. Personally, that's my personal opinion. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that for no $35. Okay, and I ain't doing that. But so how do you want to determine it? You don't just look at some therapist that's super successful and say, hey, I want to charge the same amount that she charges. You got to look at your demographic, who you see, and your area. If you are a provider and you have like 100 providers in the same area, you may not necessarily be able to charge, $300 per session. And I'm just using that random number to throw out there, okay? I know therapists who charge that much. I'm just saying you got to be realistic, okay? If your background, if you have, what kind of experience do you have? I can command a certain rate, even with insurances. I negotiate my contracts because I've been in the field 15 plus years, okay? I can do that. If you're a newbie, you may not be able to do that. We got 2 minutes. So look at your demographic. What's your background? If you say I'm a trauma therapist and I work with women who are transitioning into permanent housing from shelters, you're not charging a couple $100 a session. You're not being realistic, okay? So that's why I recommend being realistic about your rate. You want to first determine how much do you want to make a year. Again, all that, jibber jabber, but also what is realistic in your field of practice. That's why I love insurance as well. I always negotiate an insurance contract. I won't go under a certain rate because I know my value. Okay, now, but if you want to do insurance contracts, again, are you eligible? You have to have a certain amount of years in the field as a insurance provider. You have to be fully licensed. Most, with the exception, I think of maybe 1 or 2, which I won't name. You have to be fully licensed for a certain amount of years. And again, when we talk about whether or not your business, you should use your physical address. Some insurance require a physical address depending upon what kind of insurance you have. Some publicly funded ones, they will do like a home visit or audit. See, not home visits, office visits. Okay, again, that's pre-COVID. That may not be the case now. Okay, but determine in advance what do you want to do. You may want to be like me and do both. We got 1 minute. You may want to do both. Okay, but either way, determine where your funding sources are going to come from. And the last nugget I'll give you, and again, I know I'm going through this really, really quickly. When you do, you want to have forms, okay? I have 4 forms. I have an intake form. I have a consent for treatment form, and I have a telehealth consent form, which is new for us because we didn't do telehealth before. Okay, these are forms that cover you in liabilities and tell your clients what is expected of them. Some of them do not read it, so you have to remind them of that. I've had so many clients say, "Can you fill out my FML paperwork? Can you go to court with me? Can you sign up for my therapy dog?" And it says in my intake forms what I will not do, and I promise you, they still ask. And when they get attitudes like, "Well, you said something. I don't understand why you can't sign off for me to go to work," and I said, and I will say, Miss John Doe, I did inform you that when you signed your intake packet, I have copies of it, that you do know that I do not sign off for this for FMLA or something like that. So again, I'm not gonna tell you how to get forms. You gotta go register for the training. Okay. What else did I say? Oh, so have your forms, and in your forms, keep track. This is a business strategy. Just keep track of how people know about you. I have social media, right? None of my clients come to me via social media at all. And I mean, I literally, in the few years I've been in private practice, I think I may have had one. I have a lot of clients now. They don't follow me. So I'm not going to I'm on social media and I do stuff for my other businesses, but for my private practice, I literally could have a private practice and never be on social media because people don't find me out that way. I'm not going to put a whole lot of energy into social media because I don't have a huge following. But where do people find me at? One, insurance contracts, EAPs, word of mouth, and a lot of people want a Christian-based counselor, okay? And there's another one I can't think of. Primary care physicians send people to me, okay? Those are the main four. So I put a lot more energy into those. I make sure that I follow up, make sure my contracts are correct. Make sure I'm following up. I'm doing a lot more like marketing stuff around how people find out about me, okay? There's so much more that I can say. Our minutes are done. That's it. It's going to be up for probably like 24 hours. I'm not doing it. Well, I may do it again on YouTube. But those are just some basic ones. I didn't have any form. I know it's all over the place because I didn't have my notes or anything like that. But again, go to my subscription box. It says, I think it says Linktree. Click on that. Go all the way down where it says trainings, or you can just go to my website either way. And you will see a link that says how to start your own private practice. It was called how to start your own private practice in the middle of a pandemic. But now it's just how to start your own private practice. If you are a licensed clinician, it'll be beneficial to you. If you are someone that comes from a non-traditional background in counseling. I know people have like master's degrees in Christian counseling, but they may not necessarily have gone through a traditional CCRAP accredited school to start their own private practice. But it'll still be beneficial to you as well. It's a 2-hour training. Like I said, it's pre-recorded. And if you don't like pre-recorded, it's not going to be for you. But it is beneficial. And you should know how to start a private practice from start to finish at the end of that course. And of course, if you want to book me or consult with me, it'll tell you how to do that as well. Okay, thank you so much. www.samariacobra.com. And we out.